Yes, people, what's happening? Nice one for coming back to the Fuse You Kids. Much appreciated as always. Our next guest on the show, probably one of the biggest guys on the full BKFC roster. He's fighting on the Prospect show on the 14th of October in Liverpool against Florian de la Motte. None other than Lewis Francis. What's happening, brother? You good?
How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How's things?
Yeah, popping away, chipping away the daily, just getting through it. Good.
Yeah, cushy, mate. I was wondering, Lou, the way I normally start the podcast is by asking where all the fighting began. Like, where did your journey begin in fighting?
Obviously, boxing-wise, obviously, I come from a family of fighters. Obviously, like everybody involved in my family has been fighting at some point. Yeah. So obviously, boxing-wise, myself, I was like a boxer for the ABA's Golden Gloves champion a couple of times.
Nice.
Yeah, but obviously, I did a bit of street fighting and that. I've got relatives, distant relatives who've all done like bare knuckle and that. Like one of them, I put a post on the other day. My dad found a photo because my granddad died not long ago, and my granny's obviously moved closer to my father. She's been going through all of old stuff, and she found a photo of her dad, which would be my great granddad, and he actually took off to fight bare knuckle, left his job in the pits, and went and fought bare knuckle all over the country. Obviously, to provide for the family. So, like, obviously, me, without knowing all this, has just ended up slipping into bare knuckle.
And you should try and look deeper into that, see if you can find anything most interesting.
I Googled a little bit the other day because it was the first time he's told us his proper name. So I Googled a little bit the other day, but obviously, with the training that I've been flat out, I'm going to have a proper look into it, though, because it's like, yeah, he's a cool bloke.
Yeah, Custy. So, is it basically just boxing and that you've done? Because I thought you've done a bit of other combat sports as well.
Yeah, I was training towards things. Obviously, keep sending us back to prison all the time, didn't he? So obviously, like I was doing a bit of Thai boxing, MMA, fucking all that shit. Fucking obviously, I was training with SPG, Davy Grand. Obviously, he still coaches us now for all this. But yeah, I was doing all that. That was the plan, to work towards all that. Obviously, it was looking quite promising, and then obviously, like I said, he sent us back, kept sending us back to prison all the fucking time for stupid stuff. You know what I mean? So it never ended up coming into fruition.
Nightmare, man. And obviously, I seen you down in Liverpool at the BKFC tryouts. How did they come about? What made did you just...
So obviously I've been out the way for a bit. Obviously I've been through a phase of bad health and that. And what do you call it? I was just starting to get myself fit. And I think, can you remember when I got out of prison years ago and I called that Kofi King out? I think it was BFBA at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, what do you call it? So I'd been in negotiations with Andy for a while about that, and then there was mentions of us possibly getting a contract with them when I was fighting that David Duncan on the D-Day show. Yeah. Obviously, and that never come into fruition because obviously I got beat. And then so obviously I beat Wayne, went on to box on, got ill and that after that, got myself better and that, started getting myself fit in that again. And obviously, I went down to watch all the lads, the Guy Fox and all that was boxing on the last one in Gateshead. Yeah. And I went over there to watch that, and I said, Andy, I says, I'm training that again now. I'm starting to pull myself back together. Like, obviously, I'm not far off being able to compete. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, so I'm not expecting to be chucked straight in deep end because I've been out the game for a bit. But obviously, I'm willing to have a go. And he phoned us he must still have my phone number, and he phoned us a couple of months later, and he was like, he's like, well, don't stay out yet because it's not being made official, but we're going to put a Prospect show and blah, blah, blah. And I went down, obviously, had a go. I smoked about 20 fags or something on the way down, so because I was still smoking. So, yeah, obviously went down, chucked myself in the deep end, as I always do, and here we are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, did you enjoy it, like, the whole setup of it and that?
Mate, it's just frisk, innit? Like, every day of life is just amazing when you're living it with me, because I just do bad shit, and this is one of them again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I went down, enjoyed it. Obviously, like, I wasn't fit. I even told Andy when I got down there, I said, like, I'm nowhere near ready to fight here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just, I hadn't sparred since before the fight with Wayne Morgan. Like, before when I went down there. Do you know what I mean? It's like well over a year since I'd last had a set of gloves on and fucking traded hands with anybody. So yeah,
yeah, class. And obviously you got fucking like a Prospect contract out of it. You got a fight coming up with Florian de la Motte. Yeah. Because you've done a spar with him at the tryouts, didn't you? You've had a little feel of each other. What's your fight? when it got
Well,
offered to?
it's going to be exciting, obviously. I've listened to his podcast and he thinks he's going to knock me out and all this, and he's hoping to. The man's got the power, you know what I mean? He's a tough cunt. He knows what he's doing to get in close range, obviously. But you've got to understand, I had a friend from down Corby Town who was involved in the football hooligan, and he used to say, anywhere he wanted. Now, I've prepared for this fight. I've come from the Bales, I've come from a boxing pedigree, my family's full of fighters. Like, I'm coming in there, and it's not, to be fair, it's not even about the contract now for me. I fight for myself, to keep myself right. It's just who I am, it's in this, I can't stop doing it. So I'm coming in there to do what I'm best at doing. I'm good at fighting and fucking, right? And I don't want to fuck him. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's happening. So I'm going in there to have a good old tear up with somebody. If he wants to do it in close range, we'll do it in close range. He wants to box, we'll box. Whatever he wants to do, I'm there. Do you know what I mean? So, prepared for everything. That's what the 8 weeks training comes for. Getting prepared. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, mate. And do you think this fight will go the distance?
Well, do you know what it is? It'd be nice. I've never fought a full fight, 5 2-minute rounds, so it'd be nice to get the rounds in the bank. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everybody knows that they're there. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, like you say, it's proper frisk, like especially for you fighters, like coming into these shows and that must be a min feeling.
Yeah, buzz. Obviously, I remember. Obviously, the Hay Bills is a slightly different setup. Like this is going to be a massive arena. This, but the Hay Bills is a buzz, man. It's because, like, look, I've been all over the country in the system. Do you know what I mean? I've fought people from all over the world in the system. Do you know, like, obviously, and this, like, sitting there with no gloves on, just having a fucking good old fight is what I've done to pass me time. To keep myself thingy for years, like obviously behind the cell doors, you have a disagreement, you get in behind the door and you fucking have a good tear up. Do you know what I mean? Fucking obviously no gloves there, fight's a fight. It's like fucking, I got my pedigree behind the door. Do you know, like fucking obviously like, do you know, it's like, and then I'm doing this now because it's all I know and it's the only way to keep myself right. Like it's this or jail, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. A lot of fighters like who I speak to like rely on fighting. They need names of who they're fighting. They need to know they've got a fight set in. They need to be a camp to keep their heads right.
Yeah, at the TV, obviously, like that's right. I don't know whether you know yet, but the money that I make off the tickets, my percentage of the money off the tickets, I'm donating to this First Contact UK. It's a mental health charity, and they help the people who's been involved in suicide and all that. Obviously, because there's no thing I suffer from mental health, obviously, and if I haven't got nothing to focus my training on, like obviously focus myself and put all my energy into, I end up just spiraling out of control and I end up in trouble or whatever. And these charities, like this charity here, works a lot with people who, they're trying to raise funds at the moment. I think on the 30th of September, they've got a fundraiser at Eston Football Club, Felon Football Club or something. It's a five-side thing. And they're raising money to take people to, like a few people who's under there, like, who they're looking after. To do some 10-day walk, and they're getting a few people in who suffer with mental health to like come and talk to them and show like where they've come from, and that's what's really driving me at the moment, because I'd like to think if I can show where I've come from with my life and where I've been. Do you know, like obviously, and I'm still here fighting everything I've been through. I'm still here. I'm still moving forward with my life. Like obviously, it's never too late for anybody, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%, mate. What a guy, by the way, doing all that, like to send the message. Put the message out there about mental health. What a guy, man.
Yeah, well, that's what it needs to be. Obviously, people like myself, obviously, people have helped me to get to where I need to be. Obviously, you've got to put it back into the community. Do you know, like obviously, like, and that's what I'm trying to do. If all, like, even just not even the mental health, but like the young ones in the area that look. Obviously, I've been in and out the system my entire life, and it's designed the way, especially the areas we live in. It's designed to just keep feeding like humans into the system, doing things wrong. And then you go from there, and then you just spiral out of control, and you're just always trapped in the system after that. And you're doing it, and you think in your head it's good, but it's not, is it? Realistically, like what we're doing is not good. It's like fucking, you think you be all and end all, but you're just being an idiot. Like you're wasting your life behind the door. Like, and if a kid can see me and say, like, because there's a lot of them in the area that I look at them and I think, well, they just behaving like I used to. And I've set a bad role model all them years ago. And because of the reputation I've grew over the years, you think, that's how I want to be. But like, my reputation wasn't because of that. It's because of where I've transferred from that to what I'm doing now. Do you know what I mean? And that's the things that I'm trying to get across as a fighter. Well, being a fighter, that's what I want to show. Do you know what I mean? I've pulled myself from that. That's all bullshit. You're never going to make anything in your life. There's probably 2% of people get involved in that type of life, and they become like they make it out and they get big time. The other percentages of them, they either end up doing 25 year plus in jail, or they end up like dead themselves or addicted to drugs. Like, you know, like obviously, and that's literally what the life in our area is like. You'll know yourself. Do you know what I mean? And that's not what I want for anybody, especially myself. And this is the type of things that drive me as a fighter.
Yeah, that's wicked, mate. Do you want to give that that company a shout out?
It's called First Contact UK, and it's a mental health charity. It's run by a man called Tom Judge. Obviously, anybody who's struggling with mental health or feeling suicidal, obviously Samaritans and that is there as well. But First Contact's a nice place to get in touch with, and they've got various things that we'll help you out with.
Yeah, cushy, mate. And I'm taking it that you're into the BKFC, you like watching it and that. What have you thought so far of the UK shows?
Truthfully, you know, I've been like this all my entire life. When I used to box in the schoolboys, all my friends used to type into this Warrior Boxing UK, and every opponent they had coming up, they'd be like Googling them and everything. I just turn up and perform, and that's it. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm there for the crowd. I'm there, like, you know, like obviously, like I don't follow it. Like, obviously, I like watching. There's a couple of them when I go for Instagram. I like watching the Juggernaut fight. Obviously, Mick Tyrrell, I know him personally. I like watching Mickey Tyrrell fight. I think he's a legend. Like one of the best names in the game. And what a polite man, and that is mint. I've done a bit of sparring with him. Obviously, I was in jail with Darren Hendry years and years ago. Obviously, down London when I got kicked out down London. Me and him used to train together a bit. So I like watching Darren as well. Fucking what a class man he is. It was him that actually fucking notified us about Kofi King. So obviously, so I've got on well with Darren, do you know what I mean? It'd be nice to have a catch up with him at some point. And so they're the only ones that I really take much notice in, do you know?
Yeah, cushy, mate. Well, that's where you're going to be aiming to go, aren't you? You're going to be wanting to eventually get onto the main shows, the main cards and that, and this is a step forward to it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, like I say, the better I do, the better I can spread the message. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, like I say, companies like this and people, role models like myself, and you know, obviously, I'm very religious as well, so the church and God is the type of things that's going to be able to help me. People seeing what these things have influenced me positively, are the type of things that's going to influence other people positively through me fighting. And that's literally the better I do with fighting, is the more I'm really able to spread that message out there, and that's what I'm trying to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, class, mate. And is this what you're going to be focusing on now, bare knuckle and like the BKFC, or are you going to be mixing it up, doing your bits of boxing and that still?
I've been offered a couple of fights. Obviously, I could have fought on the 1st up at Scotland somewhere, and I've been offered one for December time as well. But depending on what happens with this BKFC, obviously, like what the contract's like and thingy, because I don't know what type of, because it's all going to be brand new to me after this. If the offer is this contract and all this shit, obviously, like I don't know what's going to be the crack with it. So I don't know whether I'm going to have to fight for that one place or whatever. I'm going to have to be able to freelance to other shows and whatever. So I'm just waiting to see what type of context the contract is. Obviously, so yeah. At the moment, it's just focus on this BKFC fight, get this out the way, and then evaluate after that and see what position we're in. Do you know what I mean? I've seen Mike Marshall's come back to the Bills. Obviously, me and him still got unfinished business from years ago, so I'd like to fucking get it on with him still. So he's definitely in the firing line. And what do you call it? Like the fight, obviously, I've been offered for December time. That's an option. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a few things that are there. I'm just literally just wait and get this one over and done with and then evaluate where we're at, you know?
Yeah, of course, mate. And obviously, what can we expect to see from Lewis on the 14th of October?
Well, the best version of myself, to be truthful. Obviously, I've put everything into my training camp. I've done everything that needs to be done. Still got a few more weeks left and we're getting there. So I'm just going into that ring prepared. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's a massive bounce back for me. It's like literally... the other podcast that I did the other day, the Bad Blood podcast, they put the rebirth on the thing, and that's what it is. I've been reborn as a fighter, come back again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah you're watching me like a phoenix come out the fire and fucking I'm coming to fucking do damage. Like I want blood spraying everywhere, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Class. And is there anything else you want to share with us, mate, before we wrap it up? Any sponsors, shout outs, things like that?
So, right, shout out to my full fight team, all my friends and family who've helped us, supported us, getting back to where I've been, everybody who's supported us on the journey, St Mary's Church, Tom Judge and the First Contact UK Mental Health. I've got a couple of sponsors here, so Perfect Contours, Beauty and Aesthetics, really good at what they do, North East based, County Durham based company. Security Corp, international close protection company. They go all over the world doing executive close protection, door work, all that type of stuff. Big Dogs Inc. If you want your tattoos done, do some really good tattoos. I'm waiting to get booked in and then obviously go get mine sorted out. But Bodies Gym. It's a local powerhouse gym. If anybody wants to put muscle on and get strong, that's the place to go. Like, obviously, really good gym. But Time Bomb Mouth Guards in Sedgefield, they do gum shields and bespoke gum shields, and that really good. And then the last one, Shildon Stores, Mr. V. If you listen, you know what I mean? He's the hardest worker in the North East. Anything that you want from all over the world's in that shop. So yeah, they're my sponsors. They're everybody thinking. And obviously thank you to everybody for the opportunity, and I'm welcome you tuning in.
Cushy, mate. We'll stay in touch, mate. Hopefully come up and do some filming with you soon before the fight.
Perfect.
And,
you know where we're training, don't you?
Yeah, you're training up with Bradley and that, aren't you?
Yeah, so if you want to get in there, obviously come in and come and see us and get some work videos or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's definitely going to come up. And yeah, mate, we'll do another podcast as well, close up to it.
Perfect, brother. Right. Oh,
well,
yeah. There's a bus on from there's still some seats left on my bus. So there's a bus on from Ferry Hill to the venue and returning back, obviously. And I've still got a few tickets left if anybody wants to get them. All my purse out of this fight, obviously, is going to a charity. Do you know what I mean? So come and support the cause and watch some fucking extreme violence all night and have a good time down Liverpool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, class. And where can people find you on Instagram and that to ask for tickets?
So it's Lewis_Francis_SBG on Instagram, and it's the Lewis the Killer Gorilla Francis on Facebook. I've only just managed to get logged back into that one. I had to set another one up, but I've got about 44,000 followers on there. So yeah, obviously, if you can get on that one, then that's probably the best one to follow us on. But yeah, give us a message and let's go get some work done. See you on the 14th, everybody.
See you in a bit, Lou, mate. Have a good night. Ta-ra, bro. Yes, people. Gotta love Big Lewis Francis. But make sure you go over and follow him on his social media. I'll put the links in the description. 14th of October, he's fighting Florian de la Motte. Big lad as well. For anyone who's never seen Lewis in the flesh, he's fucking huge. And Florian de la Motte is fighting as well. I've seen him sparring at the BKFC tryouts, and it's going to be some tear up. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. But stay tuned, people. We're back on soon. Hope everybody's having a great evening. See you in